You weren't like on detachment. Would you be based there? Like, would it be F3s at Lakenheath, or would you just fly in, and or how would that work?
Normally, we try and go down there for a week or a fortnight or something like
Right.
that. So it kind of makes it a little bit more awkward if you haven't got ground crew there to help, because then the air
Yeah.
crew have to do the turnaround on the aircraft. There's only a limited amount of flying we can do when it's the air crew that are servicing the aircraft. So if it's a kind of one-off that just, you go down to the ACMI. In actual fact, ACMI, if we're using it, rather than going to Lakenheath, would probably go into Coningsby where there was F3
Yes.
support and we
Yeah.
get refueled there. But then you would lose the face-to-face debrief. So there was lots of factors that could govern what you actually did on the day, when do they need the aircraft back, etc. But the ideal situation was a week or a fortnight down there. So you could really get to know the guys, and we would also get to talk to them and understand more about their weapon system within national security
Yeah.
limitations. But in general, certainly the way they operate, because we would expect to operate with them, and we did operate with them in wartime conditions, in live ops. So face-to-face integration like that would always pay dividends.
So I have to ask, Roy, what was the banter between like you and the F-15C guys? Was it like professional, and then you could have banter, or how did that work?
Yep, yep, yeah, it was good. Um, Different nationalities have different viewpoints, the different service disciplines, etc.
Yeah.
But F-15 pilots used to, when they come into a briefing, used to always leave a blank seat between each other. They would never sit four in four seats together.
Okay.
And in those days, why? Yeah, here it comes. If you sat together, it made them feel like they were gay.
No
Yep.
way.
No, that was it. They always left a blank seat, an empty seat between themselves
Wow,
because they didn't want to look like they were gay.
that's
Now,
mental.
yes, it was, and I don't know if that still goes on, but that was definitely the case in the 80s, 90s. Speak any more about it, but that was definitely the case. And the F-15 Charlies were the worst for that. Um,
Wow.
in the bar, though, great fun. Yeah, they would take banter and all the rest of it, etc. They were always very security conscious because they didn't want to give anything. And the Americans, in particular, are very tight about what they will give away. And
Mhm.
a certain aspect of a particular system that we would be quite happy to discuss, the equivalent, the Americans would say, no, US, no foreign is their blanket.
Right.
And it was much tighter than we did. And I would say it was over tight. But then again, security is not a dirty word, and that's the way they wanted to play it. So in that respect, it was quite guarded in terms of what they talked about. But in terms of the banter, etc., yeah, and I do recall back down the Grim Reapers at Lakenheath, they had on a Friday evening at the end of flying something called a Reaper call in their Reaper bar, and they had these. I can't remember the title they had, the title they gave it, but it was basically the biggest mistake of the week. Somebody had to own up to the
Right.
biggest, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And they had this little stuffed gorilla, but they actually called it Spank the Monkey. And
Right.
whoever got the award for the biggest mistake of the week, biggest gaffe, had to look after Spank the Monkey for the week. And when we're down there, um, we were in the Reaper call for that Friday, and the award of Spank the Monkey went to our United States Air Force exchange pilot. Would you believe?
Really?
Because he had made a mistake. I can't remember whether it was to do with fuel or recovery or something like that, but he owned up to it, and they decided, yep, he's getting Spank the Monkey. So for the following week, until we went home, he had to carry this monkey around after when there was fines if you lost it. It's a bit like the
Yeah.
lion in the British Lions tour sort of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
So in that respect, no, it's good, and that's why detachments like that had benefits across the board and all sorts of things, etc., etc.